Just like
Well,
that, we're live.
We're live.
Woo!
Made it another week.
Somehow.
And hopefully our audio is good. And I'm not too quiet, but also not completely
if anything,
overloaded.
You're actually louder than me this week.
Okay, sweet. I can get a word in.
Oh, you're going to get lots of words in. I just took 3 ibuprofens, so let's see how this week goes.
Back sore from fixing up machinery.
Heavy machinery. Very, very heavy. In comparison to, like, me, which is astoundingly heavy.
Speaking of heavy, we have a heavy topic here if you are a Terraria fan and a Stadia fan. Unfortunately, Terraria will not be on Google Stadia due to some issues between the, I guess, lead developer and, well, Google.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually.
Back sore from yeah, but it's a good thing to talk about, which we'll do. Well, we'll actually tech about it.
We're going to talk about all these topics on this list.
Speaking of teching about it, I'm actually a little bit hungry. But you know what? Google doesn't want to track you with cookies in the future. I don't know what that segue was.
We're allowed to eat on the show now?
I've been watching more Linus videos recently.
There we go.
Linus Tech Tips videos. His segues, definitely, I appreciate them because I can kind of identify with them now after doing this stream for a while and having kind of segues that just really don't like that last one. Speaking of segues that don't, E3 pushes forward with plans for a digital 2021 event. Did they have a 2020 event?
I think it got canceled altogether.
Yeah, I do think it probably got canceled altogether. But this year, they're pushing through, and it's just going to be digital. Which honestly, you know, I definitely understand the attractiveness of going in, but we'll tech about it. Yeah, should probably not go too in depth into the topic.
Yeah, anything that happened in 2020 or CES 2020.
Yeah. But to be fair, I don't remember anything that happened in any CES ever, so.
Oh, well, CES 2020 happened January 10th, so it was pre-pandemic.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Speaking of things I don't really follow, monetize your conversations with Mark Cubans' co-founded new podcast service.
That was CES that happened in January 10th, not E3.
Okay. Yeah, you said CES, but I guess, you were thinking, yeah, this is going to be E3.
Other big event, right?
Yeah, one of the other big events. I think there's like one more big tech event, maybe.
Okay, E3 was canceled for 2020.
Okay.
All right. Anyways.
Speaking of things that hopefully aren't canceled, my ability to watch videos on my internet. Ookla is trying to add features to a speed test. Can you stream videos on your internet?
So this is more of a me ranty one than anything.
Okay, gotcha.
About how, you know, numbers work, I guess. It's not a hard idea.
I mean, numbers can be difficult, especially once you start adding letters. Ask me how I know.
Uh-oh.
No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Taking a math class this semester.
You're allowed to drop it.
Math? I know, right? The math class, it's not hard.
If you're watching
Professor. But it's very time consuming, in my experience. Anyway, how private is too private? Microsoft repos are now baked into the Raspberry Pi OS.
You like that wording right there? I did that.
Into the Raspberry Pi. That actually, yeah, that works really well. I'm going to be interested to hear your opinion on this.
It's probably not controversial. It's
okay.
It's pretty understanding.
Cool. Yeah, okay, good. Because I was about to say. And then if we have some extra time, we've got an article about a new feature on Fitbit that I thought was pretty cool until I read more about the article. And it's still, you know, it's cool, but it's not cool.
Oh, okay. I think it's cool. So I'm curious on why it doesn't work right now.
Yeah, probably because you haven't read the article.
Yeah, I didn't read the article. Like, the title sounds cool, but now it's obvious that.
Yeah. I mean, the title sounds awesome, and that's why I clicked on it, and then I read it, and it's still, it's still nice to have. Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. You know what?
If we have extra time, and we will.
Oh, we will if we skip the Ookla article.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
To our first article at Ars Technica. Terraria developer cancels Google Stadia port after YouTube account ban. So I don't know if you're familiar with the game Terraria.
Yes.
I've never played it, but it's basically, it's like a two-dimensional side-scrolling, crafting, building, exploring game. Kind of
platform
a lot of people
Minecraft.
Compared to Minecraft. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. But, well, it was planned to go onto Google Stadia, but unfortunately this week the developer had an issue with his Google account, and his Google account was, I don't remember what the actual term is, blocked or suspended or something, and so he lost access to his Gmail, he lost access to his Google Play account, which had all of his purchases. He said he had recently purchased one of the Lord of the Rings movies or series or whatever on some Google service, and then now he's lost that because his account's locked. I don't know what else it mentions. Maybe, his YouTube account's gone, all his Google apps. Basically, all that's gone because his account was locked due to a terms of service violation. Due to a video on his YouTube or something, but YouTube or Google haven't really been clear about if he can resolve this issue or why specifically his account was locked, because apparently he hasn't uploaded any YouTube videos onto his YouTube channel in quite some time, and even when he did, it was mainly just promos for his apps and stuff, and apparently they were giving him a runaround. He tried contacting their support, and from the looks of it,
YouTube doesn't really understand what happened either.
Yeah, and it says he went to try and get support, but he obviously couldn't go through his Gmail account because it was locked. He went on Twitter or something, and they suggested
to use Google's account recovery system.
Yes, which is meant for either people who accidentally delete their own account, or if you lost your password, they suggested he go to the, reset his password. But that's not the issue. The issue is that his account has been locked or suspended by Google. He didn't lose his password, and he didn't accidentally delete his account.
That's tough.
Yeah. So that's pretty tough, and it's understandable why he would be upset with them and taking his game off of their platform. But here is the bigger takeaway, I think, for this. Oops, I just clicked the Twitter article. But here's the bigger takeaway for this is, I use Google services for a lot of stuff: YouTube, Gmail, Google Photos,
Google Docs.
Yep, like we use for the stream notes. But, it is dangerous using a free service for this, for everything, and it's dangerous using one service for everything. It's convenient, but if something goes wrong and you get locked out, or your account gets stolen, or your account gets suspended, it's a pretty big deal. And plus, if you have your accounts linked to your Gmail account,
now you can't get
reset your passwords, because you need to verify through Gmail. It's a whole mess. So,
and that's why they say have a recovery email and phone number.
Good point. So I think that's the bigger takeaway, is not Google bad necessarily. I mean, maybe in this instance they
in this instance
it seems like
it's hard to argue for Google in this instance.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. Maybe they'll resolve the issue, but from so far it doesn't sound like that's
and these tweets were from today, February 8th. So it could be that, it maybe just be bad Monday morning kind of thing. And
yes, I do think he said it's been going on for 3 weeks. Yeah. So in the 4th paragraph, it says Spinks, the developer, says his entire Google account has been down for 3 weeks now, and Google has done nothing but given me the runaround. And you can view the quality of Google support on Twitter for yourself, because YouTube support declined to actually go like privately discuss the issue with him, but they just responded to him on, I guess, the public tweet or whatever. So quite unfortunate for him.
No kidding.
How long have we been live for talking about that one topic?
Oh, long. You went pretty hard on that.
Yeah, but again, the bigger takeaway here is don't put your eggs in one basket. So, in my opinion, and yeah, Google's not like this, what is it, benevolent, company that's always got your best interests in mind. So, just use their service with a grain of salt, if that's a saying.
Yeah, right. Now this is interesting. Following that on, how hard it is to get Google and YouTube to help you, and now Google is like, oh, but we'll watch everything you do.
Why do they do that? Because it helps their bottom line?
Yeah, helps it. Hey, look at that. Do we want to sign up? 204,000 people also signed up.
Allow cookies. Click.
Can we disallow cookies? 34 cookies in use. I don't want to get through them because it might actually show something valuable.
That would be
very tragic, right? This is from rawstory.com, whatever this website is. But it was on Google News, so it must be real. Google moves away.
You must not be using the Australian version of Google,
right? Oh, no kidding. You had to be there to know that one.
Yep. Watch last week's video.
Move away from the diet of cookies to track users. So I got a little confused on this one at first, and then I realized that it's just technology moving forward continuously.
Yeah.
And cookies will be pushed out, which I think is a good thing from a person who has to deal with end users all day. The nicest way to put that one.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious as how they're going to go about this, because this article doesn't really go into it, probably because it's a deeper, it's probably a pretty complex and technical explanation.
I can't even pronounce what the acronym stands for. So instead of using cookies, they're going to track you, it's going to use a thing called Flock, which is Federated Learning of Cohorts. Yeah. See, those are 2 out of 4 words. I know.
Yeah. And is that really a word? It's not even capital in the acronym, so does it really count?
But it is in the acronym, so we got that going for us.
Yeah. So it doesn't really dive into what they're going to replace it with, but one of the articles I read about this, I think it might have actually been a different website, but they said that Firefox and one other browser were already using something other than cookies.
Might be Brave.
So it might be Brave, although I'm wondering if Brave and Edge, since they're built on Chromium.
Oh, you're right there.
How that will work, Oh, actually, no, they do kind of talk about how they're going to do it. Something about on-device processing to keep web history private on the browser. So maybe it's like a feature that's actually built into the browser, and rather than sending your cookie to Google with every request to pull up an ad or to the third party.
And the benefit of that could be it could have some type of account encryption on it. So you don't have a middleman attack then. But then, someone can just sit there at Google and look at your data. So
yeah. So might be good. I mean, I guess I'm not all that familiar with how cookies are used for ads. I kind of understand it, but I almost don't even see the problem with using cookies for it. I guess I don't know how much data that actually shares with the third-party advertisers. So, but
yeah. So one of the big things that I liked about this is that Google's doing one of the things that Google does best, which is rebranding something.
Yeah, true.
Well, should they do it enough, right? I'm surprised it's still called YouTube at this point. And
no, I mean, go ahead.
The benefit of them switching from cookies to Flock is that I get a lot of customers that come to my store and they say, hey, I've already deleted all my cookies, deleted my browsing history, I've defragmented the hard drive and I run a virus scan and it's still slow. And I'm like, well, 3 of those things don't speed your computer up anymore.
Yeah.
Like, deleting your cookies isn't a good thing anymore. But that's a hard thing to explain. That, like, if you delete your cookies, it's just going to re-download when you visit, like, Facebook again. Facebook's just going to get them again. Yeah. Like, I don't think you understand how that part works. And so with rebranding cookies, just to begin with, like, they could have just called it cakes and called it a day. I think that would have solved a lot of problems there on my side.
Yeah.
But then it sounds like from this they're making it so that you're not just sending bunches of text and data, right?
Yeah.
It has to be good. I'm curious on what it's going to do to processing power. Like, I can imagine it being that big of a notice. Not that
I think you bring. Go ahead.
Not that Chrome already uses 2 gigabytes per tab or anything. Like, what's another 2 more?
I think you bring up a good point about the rebranding, though, because a lot of people just think cookies bad,
right? Cookie monster,
but
bad.
Really, cookies are actually really important for websites to use, especially like the actual first-party website that you're browsing, because that's how it tracks your session to see whether you're logged in, your username and password, or at least your username, and usually it's not your password, but it's like an encrypted cookie, which it contains your login and session information. And without it, you really couldn't be logged into your website. Yeah. So, cookies are not inherently bad, but if the cookies are kind of sharing your browsing history, then that's bad. So, but it seems like this isn't just a rebranding effort. Like you said, it's them actually trying to increase the privacy. So that is good.
So I actually pulled up the cookies on this, and so far, like, nothing is of, great exposure, I believe. So on my screen, it's by clicking the little locky icon, and then you hit your cookies, and then it pulls up your cookies. And so, like, one of the cookies for rawstory.com is data use consent, which I believe is that European GDP or whatever that is. And you have to, like, allow the use of cookies, because I had to hit that little button at the bottom. It's like, that's one of the cookies. And then close policy exit, and there's another close policy. So it's just like little things that I clicked on the website to make. That might have been for the pop-up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So now if I refresh the page, I bet that pop-up won't pop up again.
Yeah. Looks like it. Yep, because you've already dismissed it.
Yeah, the cookies just make it so the website can remember that you've done stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, remembering what you've done.
Cookies not always bad, but sometimes
not always bad. Sometimes delicious, though.
Only if they're
that would be a perfect segue into a Raspberry Pi.
Darn. 2 years, we still can't put these in the right order.
Well, you can eat cookies while attending the virtual E3 this year. You can eat cookies from your home.
We are waiting on a redirect.
Me too, actually. Oh, and then it didn't load. Wow, that would be really unfortunate if
the website's oh. Well, videogameschronicle.com I think has failed us.
Okay.
I was like, I can't even talk about it.
I wonder if The Verge has a topic.
How embarrassing, videogameschronicle.com. You know what website's not down right now?
The Verge?
Nephewtech.com.
Nice.
I still have the SSL installed, so you still get a warning that it's not a safe website. But it's still a safe website. I just want your cookies. Oh, I have one cookie active on my website. It doesn't actually say anything. But
do you have it connected to whatever Google's like not activity tracker, but
I have some type of little tracker thingy, so it shows like this person used Firefox.
How many users?
Yeah.
I bet that's what that cookie is, like storing like when you revisit the website, then it knows you're not a new unique user, but you're just a user that's visited before. All right, well, here's another link to that. It's a really weird paste, but okay.
Super bold. Oh, look, it works.
Yep, so this article is from Paste Magazine. Man, we are really getting the what's
weird
that word?
Websites.
Weird websites,
expanding our horizons.
Yeah. And it does mention that, last year's show was canceled due to, well, obvious reasons, but it's back.
So
I wonder how many people generally attend E3 and how many people watch online anyway already.
Okay, that's a fair one. I wonder if it's going to even be in a single building, if it's all virtual.
Yeah, good
question.
question.
Are they going to make the vendors all show up at the same space? That way it could be like the one performance stage or something for like the main event.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be curious if there's only going to be like one continuous stream, or if they're going to have like the main stage live stream and then multiple live streams for the different stages or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if I remember right, E3 is more of like a booth thing where you can just like walk out and see all the different electronics booths. So like Samsung has a booth, Sony has a booth. I believe that's E3. It might be the other one at this point.
I feel like that might be CES.
Okay.
But I was actually about to ask you the same question, because for one of them, whichever, and I'm pretty sure CES, they have a lot of demos and stuff, like if they're working on a new console or they have a new phone or some kind of new consumer technology, they have booths out which they'll actually allow you to mess around with, or Marcus Brownlee will go and shoot a video on it, or any of the other big tech YouTubers might go and make a video about a new product. And for that, it really does make a lot of sense for it to be in person. But for a presentation thing where development is doing a preview of their video game and not allowing any like demos or whatever it is, or if it's not actual hardware, if it's just videos of them playing a game or them playing a game, it makes a lot of sense for it to be virtual.
Okay, yeah, it does. Yeah, from the images I just looked at, it does look like it is just a stage and nothing much more.
Okay, cool. So hopefully that won't really be too big of a deal for them. Certainly better than not having it at all.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier than having the other option of a bunch of different live streams all at the same time.
I don't see it immediately, but I wonder if you have to pay to view it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Because sure, you have to buy a ticket. But interesting to see how they play that out, because they do still need to, make money, I assume. Making money is probably nice.
Probably nice. Yeah, I don't see anything about pricing.
No. And also, it's scheduled to take place between June 15th through 17th. That's some helpful information.
So this article is pretty interesting, to me at least, and it's about.
You know what else is interesting?
Oh, monetizing our conversation right now.
Our sponsors, jmartmedia.com.
And oh, you remembered! Holy crap! That's a new one, man.
And https:// nephewtech.com and just click the, continue button.
The continue button. Yeah. The ignores privacy. Always ignore the privacy. It'll get you far, I guess. Oh man. So this was a pretty odd topic. I'm actually gonna send this to another friend that we both know.
Okay.
Mark Cuban is co-founding a podcast app where hosts can talk to their fans live and monetize the conversation. I personally see this as a terrible idea, but I'm curious if you also see this as bad. So
I mean, I guess it sounds great monetizing your conversations, but what does that mean?
Right. So the things I'm worried about with this is hosts can talk to their fans live. I can pull this up actually. There it goes.
Okay. I mean, we're talking to our fans live.
Right. The downside is you don't know what your fan is going to say live. So
so it's like they can call in and actually.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So like,
gotcha.
You can just be like, and that is like on some things. So you can have a stream and you'd be like, all right, here's my Skype name. This is what they did, way back. Skype name. Add me in, and then I'll join you in on the live show. And like we could do that now with Discord. I'd be like,
Discord.
Yeah. Hey, you want to join us real fast, and then call someone in, or you just do what everyone else does and just hold the phone to their microphone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I would trust a random stranger to say whatever they wanted onto a live stream with my face on it.
That's an interesting question, and something that I've actually thought a little bit about, primarily because when I'm driving in my car, I don't play music off my phone. I actually listen to the radio. I know, right?
What?
I know. Yeah. It's this device built into the car that listens to radio signals or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, a lot of times they'll have contests or something on the radio, or you can call in and tell a story. So they just have random people calling into the radio station.
But it's not live.
And it's live, but it's probably got,
like
a 10 to 15 second delay.
Enough to stop
which
it.
You could do on a live stream too.
And that would keep
I think
ironically enough, the Fireside off of Mark Cuban.
Yeah. And
because then he would be responsible. But like right now we have like a 8-second delay, I believe, going on. And so if we did call someone in, I would have 8 seconds to figure out how to make it not go live, which is easy enough. There's a giant X on the side of the screen over here that would kill it pretty fast.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how the whole buzzer thing works as in buzzing out inappropriate language on
not even just the voice, but what on the video too.
Yeah.
So like several people have posted, I'm sure if you look it up, with the pandemic happening and all the what are they called, news hosts, news anchors, whatever, are doing it from their house, and they have the webcam up or a camera up, and then you see something not completely appropriate for the news channel up on like a bookshelf.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if I don't catch that while I'm live streaming with someone, and there's like something not fantastic on their background.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how fans are selected.
Yes. And also, the internet's can be
Filthy.
A weird place. So I feel like on the radio station, it's kind of limited to a local area. There's less of an audience, and like for some reason, I guess people just don't cause issues when they're calling into a radio station. But I'm wondering if it would be different
with a different generation.
Yeah, because it probably is a different kind of age group demographic that listens to radio versus the internet. It's like
I'm
kind
sure
of interesting. Why is that?
I'm pretty certain it is.
Yeah, but like, why is it so different on the internet versus the radio? I guess that's it. Just the demographic difference in terms of age.
The other interesting part I would see is if this makes podcasting easier. If it lowers the bar for entry even further, how many people are willing to pay to listen to your conversation with your friend? I find it very, 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 very low. So I think this might crush a lot more people than it would actually help. Like it's a good idea, I guess. I really don't know. But it might also not be a great idea for like people's morality. And I guess there's only one way to know. We wait and see what happens with it.
Yep. Speaking of
a couple of comments on here, which I wanted to bring up before, then I just remembered, was leave it to Silicon Valley to reinvent checks notes, calling into a radio station.
Really? It said that?
Yep. Second comment.
But yeah, I mean, like,
and someone else goes, it's radio, but on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't the term internet radio a big thing about 5 or 6 years ago when people started I guess having smartphones and playing music from them on their
And then I actually talked to you about that, I think this time last week, right after stream, about radio waves, and then just doing an internet radio station instead of actual radio. Which is like
we
funny
did.
enough. Because I was looking at different ways to branch out and expand my voice, and one of the ideas is trying to find something that's not video related, which would be radio. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with this, and to see if people realize that their conversations aren't as exciting as they believe they are. Now this article makes me mad, so I don't know if we should even talk about
it. Okay. Well, it's for iOS only, so how bad could it be? Or is that why it's bad?
No, that's not even relevant for me.
Okay, this is another article from our friends at The Verge.
Our friends, they don't even know us.
Bring it on. True. We just have a lot of their content.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Speedtest app now measures your network's ability to stream video. But why? So it's iOS only for now, of course. So from the looks of it, it just tells you if you can stream video and at what resolution. So for I can't even read what this picture is, but a phone, a large tablet, a large laptop, or large TVs. Oh, they're all large. Large phone, large tablet, large laptop, large TV.
What if I have a small phone?
Right? No kidding.
Wait. A maximum resolution of 2160p 4K is good for video on. Okay, so this is just saying that this is probably what pops up if you have good internet and you can watch video at 4K. It says this is good for these types of video. Okay.
So
I totally misread that the first time.
Yeah, and we're pretty techie dudes, right? Like, I would put us above average on techiness.
I would really hope so.
Like,
I mean, it is called Let's Tech About It.
And like, if we can't understand a picture immediately after reading a title, is it really that detailed of a picture? Okay, so the thing that really bothers me about this is that, one, Ookla is a terrible place to get your speed test done. Everyone does it at fast.com. And we probably can't show what's about to pop up on screen.
I'm sure it won't have your IP or location.
I'm almost certain it will have my IP location.
Yeah.
We can hide that sucker out. All right, perfect.
This is where you screenshot, open Microsoft Paint, and then... Oh, gotcha. Boy, that works.
There it goes. Oh, well, there it is anyways. Oh, well, I'll just turn my router off and back on, right? All right, so what we get is 300 megabits per second on the download, and our upload is about to be 300 also, which kind of terrible knowing that I have fiber gigabit down and up. So, that's disappointing. But what would be great is them to just put a list on the side, on the top, or on the bottom that says, if you want to stream 4K video, we recommend 6 Mbps down. If you would like to do a live video, we recommend 5,000 or 5 Mbps up. And then just give people estimates. Like, an average email user uses 1.2 Mbps up or down, whatever. And give people a list that says, like, if you do this, this is how much you use. If you do this, this is how much you use. And then people can figure out for themselves, like, that's enough.
Yeah.
My general rule of thumb has always been that in today's current standard, the average person uses about 12 down, 2 up.
Okay.
But it really depends on what you do.
Yep. Like if you're streaming video like we are right now, it's going to take more upload. If you've got multiple people watching videos down, you're going to need more download. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So right now, this very second, I am having 3.4 to 3.6 download and 10.2 to 10.4 upload.
So the reason he's having such high upload is because he's streaming 2 streams right now, his stream and my channel stream. And the reason he has so much download is because he's getting my video from, a video chat.
Yeah, I'm getting your video. And then I'm also watching our video on the YouTube Live.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, most people don't have a video chat, a YouTube video, and 2 live streams going at the same time. So it's kind of a heavy usage case scenario.
Yeah, a little bit.
So, I don't know. I find it aggravating that the best UI is a simple UI with just like the facts listed.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think that's what they're trying to do, but rather than you have to find it on a graph, they're making the pop-up, which I guess they think is more easy to understand for a less technical user.
So it looks like it has 21.6, or is that just 2160? That's probably
2160, I think.
I was trying to see if we can see the download speed in the back of the phone picture.
Oh, gotcha.
Doesn't quite look like it.
True. Because, I mean, these charts do exist, like you're talking about, where it says, if you're streaming video, you might want to have 5 megabits per second. I'm sure there's charts out there like that.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
People who are more technical can, use Google and find it. But I think this is targeted more at, like, not more technical people.
People who use Ookla speed tests.
Yeah.
Use fast.com. That's all I ask. So this one was pretty interesting. I had to add it in there because I've started getting heavier into Raspberry Pis.
Yeah, definitely.
So it starts off with a very intimidating headline. Raspberry Pi OS added a Microsoft repo. No, it's not an evil secret. So this was actually in the doc last week, I believe, and we just never got around to it. Because or 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's been around, and then finally it's been, like, cleared up. So they understand what's happening.
Gotcha.
So a repo is just the thingy that you can add to pretty much anything. And it's just a library, essentially, from my understanding.
Yeah, repo is short for repository, which I don't know actually the definition of repository, but it's like somewhere that you store place, I think is the actual, similar to the dictionary,
It's like a storage unit, kind of.
It is, yeah. And oftentimes in software, a repo refers to a place that you're storing code.
Yep. Just that way the developer can update the code, put it on the repo, and then you can download the new code from the repo and implement it into your software. Yeah. So my Raspberry Pi, when she's sitting on the floor, turned on. Right? It's the best place for him. Runs PiOS, Raspberry Pi OS. It's like Debian Pi or something now. I have no idea what it's called anymore. And apparently a Microsoft repository has been added to it. And and a lot of people seem to be super upset with it. But I think everyone's finally calming down about it, which is nice. So they added it by default because the repository is mostly for Microsoft's Visual Studio Code development environment. Apparently, that is one of the main things people install on PiOS is the Visual Studio environment. And so they just implemented the repository in there so that you don't have to. I think they call those features.
Yeah. It was that it was some kind of...
Your mic's cutting out.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, man. It looks like my...
We're going to give you a quick second.
Okay.
Oh, no. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can.
Okay, cool. Let me know if you can't hear me at some point.
All right. Yep.
What's the term where you can't uninstall the software that comes on the machine by default?
Bloatware.
Bloatware, yeah. I think what people are worried about is that this is some kind of Microsoft bloatware. But really all it is, it's not even an application that's installed on the device by default. It's just some kind of code that makes it easier to install Visual Studio Code on your Raspberry Pi.
Yes.
So somewhere in here it mentions a command called apt-get code, like apt space get get space code. And apt, I forget what it stands for. It's like application packaging tool or something, and it's very commonly used across it's very commonly used across lots of Linux distributions or operating systems, and it's the way that you generally install software on a Linux machine. And so all this is doing is make it where you can easily install Visual Studio Code in a one-line command in the command line, as opposed to having to go in to the website and like the Microsoft website, downloading the code, probably unzipping it, and then running the installer.
Yes. And then the other big thing that people are scared of, which it had me on the worry side until I read this article. I was like, oh, this is it, was the telemetry pinging. Because someone had posted that there was constant pinging to a Microsoft server. Okay. And it looks like that they figured it out. The pinging was just to see if the repository had an update to let you know that there's an update for your stuff. So that's all it was update pings. So if you have VLC installed on your computer, you know what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so it looks like the telemetry data, which is not really telemetry data at that point, because I'm pretty sure in order for it to be considered, we can actually find out, to be considered telemetry, it has to be personal. Okay. Which, I mean, I guess the version of software you're running is technically personal, but it's not identifying. I mean, a billion people probably run the same version of software. But then a million people are probably also, the same skin tone or the same height or use the same browser. So I don't really know what telemetry data is at that point.
Yeah. So in my opinion, not a big deal, but I guess I can kind of understand why people were initially worried.
Yeah.
And then this article also mentions a way that you can disable this ping to Microsoft server. If you go into your etc/hosts file, you can set packages.microsoft.com to point towards your local port. So whenever it tries to make a request to Microsoft server, it actually goes to your own computer and fails.
Yep.
So if you're really worried about it,
unplug it from the internet.
Yeah.
Not that hard. Like, how I update my thing? I plug it in real fast, get all those updates, and then just unplug it again.
We're actually doing this live stream off the internet right now.
Technically.
Not really.
Kind of.
Kind of.
You know what's kind of also? Fitbit. Fitbit is kind of.
Yeah. So originally I saw a news article about this topic, and then I clicked the actual source and went to the actual article on blog.fitbit.com, straight from the source. So anyway, Fitbit has added some blood glucose trends charts to their fitness app, or to their Fitbit app, and it'll allow you to look at your blood glucose, which is basically your sugar level of your blood.
That would be really good for diabetics, right?
Exactly, yes. It is very good for diabetics because they have to be careful with that.
It's like if there's one thing I know about that, is that's like the only thing they care about.
Yeah, blood sugar. And I was actually looking into it a little bit recently just because, well, because I saw this article.
Cool, because I don't fully understand it.
Yeah, the issue is that they have too high blood sugar and something with the pancreas. Honestly, not a medical person.
Wait, you're not?
And also don't have diabetes, so I'm just not familiar with it. But it sounded really cool at first, and it is cool. I can see how it would be helpful to have all this information in one place in your Fitbit.
It's a good revision one, I guess.
But I just assumed that the Fitbit itself was able to track your blood glucose level. Yeah, like the device itself would, be able to track it. And I was actually kind of curious as to how they would do that, because I wasn't really sure, like, without actually pricking you. And
is it like that oxygen blood level thing that it can sense through your skin too? Like,
that's what I was kind of thinking. But as it turns out,
you have to
you can either log it. Yeah, you can either log it in the app, and so it saves in the app, and you can view the chart on the app, which can be convenient. I can see that. Or there are certain devices that you wear all the time, and they're actually, I guess, Bluetooth compatible or something.
Okay.
This mentions in the "How does it work" section, which is like a little bit further than halfway down the page. It says, head to the Fitbit app to start logging your blood glucose levels and related symptoms to see trends in your data. So you have to log it yourself. You can also connect your one-touch reveal app from LifeScan, other meters and apps coming soon, with your Fitbit app to automatically import your blood glucose levels. So these might be devices where you prick your finger and then you put it on a sensor, and then that device that you're putting your finger on, either via Bluetooth, sends that data to your Fitbit, or there are actually devices that you can wear kind of permanently or for extended periods of time, like a week or two, that will track, and I assume connect to the device, which would be much more convenient. But I was super interested to see how the Fitbit device itself was going to be detecting your blood glucose levels, but that's not actually what's happening. Still, I'm sure it's convenient, but not as,
Yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so ignoring the privacy part, because that's a whole nother topic on it.
Yeah, that's kind of a given at this point. Yeah, it's.
Would you be willing to have like a permanent attachment, almost like a valve or something, that monitors like all your blood levels and everything? So, and it would automatically track on your phone. So like if your heartbeat got too high, your phone would ding. It will let you know. If your sugar level was too low, your phone would ding. It will let you know. If your oxygen level is too low, your phone would ding and let you know.
I would say
ignoring the privacy part, like it's convenient.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if it was completely forgetting the privacy part, yeah, that would be awesome. Me personally, I probably wouldn't have that because I don't have those health issues. But if I had diabetes, then yeah, for sure. If I didn't have to worry about the privacy thing, for sure, would like to have something,
that would monitor.
They would be more expensive, I'm sure. So if we're forgetting financially and privacy wise, it would be, really nice to have something that's always tracking your level, just for your, your health. So you can always,
I would find it really interesting to see how fast, I don't know the right word here is for it, but knowledge and how everything exactly works in a human body develops if everyone was being monitored like Google does with any of their products. Because Fitbit's owned by Google, so on the idea that if all of a sudden everybody started having all of their bodily functions tracked by Google, how fast could we solve a lot of problems?
Yeah. But then at the same time, is that really Google's goal, to solve our problems or to...
No, but they can monetize our problems. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Because that is obviously their goal, so...
No, they can find our problems and then sell our problems to people. Oh, it's gonna happen.
It is gonna happen, but thankfully we're living in the 21st century, not 300 years in the future or 300 years in the past. And for that, I'm actually thankful.
It's almost the perfect timing.
It might be cool to, you know, go to Mars or whatever, but I think I'm perfectly happy with.
It's also really nice to have electricity.
Century. Yeah.
I have ice downstairs.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic invention.
Speaking of invention of ice.
It's a what domesticated ice?
Yeah. If that works, sure.
Oh man. We actually made it to 50 minutes. We're professionals.
Yeah. We're getting really good at this. Yeah.
Always put 7 topics. That's the key. As we have 9 this week.
Lucky number. 9?
Oh no, it is 7. You did a thingy when you pasted.
I did, yeah. Big mistake.
Major mistake. Awesome.
I shared an article from videogameschronicle.com.
Is it still down.com? Yes, it is. We crashed it. All of our viewers went to it at once.
Yep.
Personal best. On that note, I think we're going to talk about it next week.
We'll talk about it next week. Hey, I got up to 4 viewers.
What?
I might even have 3 viewers right now. So thanks for watching. Join us next week where we talk about other tech topics.
We're going to talk about all the tech topics.
Both of them.
All 7.
All 7 of them.
All 7.